Good to go.
All right, so we're on day 10 messing with Tex here and getting him going. He's doing really good. His trail run, he's getting really confident. He's taking the lead and just doing a great job. He's real bold. He just naturally, you don't have to really make him take the lead. He'll just go on and walk up there. Does real good on the ditches and the creeks. He said so. Mostly with him, it's just kind of working on getting him all settled down. So right now, I'm just taking some extra time. I've already brushed him down a little bit, but we just put him some feed here. And so I'm just letting him kind of eat and relax so that he knows that, I'm not trying to run him off the feed or anything like that. Just kind of let him pet around. Like I said, he was really nervous about his back end being messed with. He was real quick to kind of kick on you and stuff like that. So we're kind of, I wouldn't say 100% past that, but since day 3 he hasn't kicked again, so we're hoping that we're past all that. So we did day 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He did great. This will be day 10. Being really calm, being real relaxed about it all. Still moves around a little bit, but not, nothing too major. Switch sides. Make sure don't just get just on the other side, where he gets used to, where you have to be on just that one side. We're trying to make sure he gets good on both sides. I'm doing real good about it. A couple things I wanted to address. We've got well, I wouldn't say a lot, but quite a few extra comments and stuff. The little hate group's on kind of a rant, and they got some other people in there. But they're kind of using people like a pawn. They know that they're lying and they know they're making stuff up, but then they get other people emotionally involved that don't know the facts and they twist stuff around. So just like they've been swearing up and down, Clancy's dead, Clancy's dead, Clancy's dead. You know what I mean? The guy bought him. He bought him. He wanted a nice mule. Wanting to work on his ranch and stuff. The guy's a wealthy guy. He spent a month in Australia. He'd been having a shoulder surgery, and so he has, really ain't been top of his mind or what he wanted to do, but he didn't bother me to put up with all their crap. So finally I called him. I said, hey, this is what they're saying. They're saying he's dead and all this kind of stuff. So he was nice enough to shoot a nice video for me on Thanksgiving Day, and I really appreciate that and his family. And they've just really been getting along with Clancy good and loving him and taking care of him, and he's a permanent part of their family. And that's great. But like I said, they didn't need any there's nothing like they don't need to twist the truth. They'll just make up something in their head. Then they get other people emotionally involved, So then the other big episode is this mule right here. Everybody getting upset because I jabbed him in the nose twice. That's ridiculous. But I want to address a couple things. For one, you're not going to hurt one punching one in the nose, and I didn't punch him that hard. I just jabbed him in the nose. More about posturing and things. But some people said, well, he willingly came to you. No, he didn't willingly do shit. He hit the end of that lead rope, and I jerked his last back around, made him face up to me. So he didn't do it. And they're like, well, he never takes a step forward. He was being held because I'm stronger in the arm than he is in his neck and stuff right now. So I held him around, held him facing up, and I popped him, and they said, well, that's not going to teach him to do anything. Well, here's your thing. They're like, that doesn't happen. Horses and mules, they never do anything out of aggression. They only do it out of fear. You don't know what you're talking about, not even kinda. Take any horse you want, go turn it in a pen full of other horses. The first thing them other horses are going to do is chase it around. They're going to run it off. That's what their herd does. They're never just going to ignore it and stuff. That's a very rarity. 99% of the time, they're going to run the new horse around, run him around. And it might be a couple hours, or it might be up to like 2 or 3 days. They run it around before they allow it to come back into the herd. Round pen reasoning that people do that used to be super popular and everything. You're running around, driving away, pushing it, turning it, running around, and whether you use your hands, your whip, or whatever you're doing, a rope, but you're running it, turning it, and then you allow it to hook up and come to you. But it's by running it away and stuff. So, but that is the reality of it. So, does it suck that you just can't explain something to them and they all just come walking up and all be nice? And yeah, most, like I said, we've got so many here that we raised up ourselves that you can't get them off of you. They're just like pets. No, you'll never have to do anything to them. They just follow you around like a dog. We showed this for day one when we started messing with him, one that I had raised up myself, and heck, we just threw a saddle on it and it acted like it'd been saddled 100 times, and it just follows you around. Wants pet and loving. It acts the same way. It's another one I raised up. But this one was raised with a herd of wild donkeys and stuff and was unwanted. And so that's, you know, he needs a little extra attention, a little extra stuff, but he also needs some discipline. Let me explain this to you. You guys can be bleeding hearts, or you guys can make me the bad guy, or whatever it is that you want to do, but here's the reality. You get two results. When a mule goes to kicking people, either somebody gets killed and then the mule gets killed, or they just kill it for kicking at them. But either way, a mule kicking at a human being is never going to turn out good for the mule. It's not going to happen, and it has to stop. It needs to stop immediately. I tolerated it day one. I tolerated it day two. If a mule keeps getting away with stuff over and over again, it's going to continue to do that until something changes his mind. He had a learned behavior of kicking at stuff behind him and kicking it to hurt. You literally see in the videos, be fair, that wind blows his tail, he kicks the crap out of my round pin wall over there. He didn't need a reason to kick. What he needed was a reason not to kick. And so that's what I gave him. I was like, if you kick at me, I'm going to pop you back. And so he needed a little respect. He needed to know his place in the herd. And then once he gets where he's standing calm and he's doing what he's supposed to do, well, then we'll be as nice to him as he'll possibly do. This is a beautiful buckskin mule out of good breeding on the bottom side, and he's dang sure tough. I rode a good 15 miles on him the other day, and he was still rearing and ready to go, just perfect. So he's very game. So I'd love to be nice to him. I'd love to get along with him, but I will not tolerate being kicked. You know, it's not going to happen. So that's the reality. Another thing I want to address is another thing they're doing is they're talking about that jewel mule that I trained for that lady. That lady had that mule like 5 years and was unable to ride it. You know, and they're saying, well, he buried it in the mud and he drug it behind a truck, and that's abuse. That mule had learned that it could jerk and drag people behind it. And so it shows up at my place with a stud chain on, and they're like, you can only handle it with a stud chain, and it'll still try to drag you off if it gets in front of you. And that's what the trainers had told her to do. It's just going to be this. And then the trainers had also said you probably just need to kill it because it's never going to be what you need to be or whatever. So anyways, so the point is, it had a learned behavior that it did not have to respect that halter, and it would run off, and it would drag people. And you're talking about an elderly lady with some health issues, and she sure don't need to be tangled up and drugged behind a mule till she died. So yeah, we tied it behind the truck, and we led it around. We didn't drag anything. If it didn't want to do it, we just put the pressure on it until it starts coming on. We just broke it to lead, plain and simple. You can twist the words, you can say this. It's not like this thing was laying down on the ground being skidded along a gravel road. We drove. When it stopped, we kept pressure on it, and it kept going until it got relief pressure. But what it couldn't do was run off with that truck. Plain and simple, we broke it to lead. And you're not talking about breaking a colt to lead. You're not talking about breaking a baby to lead. You're talking about a 12, 1,300 pound, 16-hand mule that's learned that it can jerk and pull stuff away from people. It had a learned behavior of I can take this rope and go anywhere the hell I want to go, and so that's what it did. So with that being said, yes, I pulled it behind the truck and broke it to lead. Plain and simple. Didn't drag it on the ground, didn't get hurt, didn't get skidded. Now, as far as burying it in the mud, I do not have in my training program, hey, I'm going to go bury this thing in the mud, and that's how we're going to do it. We have a trail. It got off the trail on its own decision. It wouldn't listen. It wanted to run, bolt off, and go over through the mud, and it got itself stuck. And we got it out. As opposed to what? Leave it there to die? What did you want me to do with it? Okay? We got a trail. The rest of the mules didn't get buried. It got off the trail. It wasn't listening. We said go left, it decided to go right. Plain and simple. Got off the trail. Actually, there's two trails there, and it tried to go from one to the other right across the middle. Nobody asked it to do that. Nobody told it to do that. Everybody was trying to get it to do something different. Buried itself up. We had to keep it moving. If you don't keep it moving, you let it get stiff, you let it get cold, you let it give up, can't get it out. That's a solid woods at the bottom of a hill. You're not getting a Ranger, a tractor, or anything else back there. So you had to use the other mules to pull it out. Plain and simple. Wasn't something I chose to do. It's a situation that I handled. Well, here's the thing. You can say what you want to say, but now that lady rides that mule all the time, gets along with it great, doesn't have to have a stud chain, leaves it wherever she wants to lead it, and gets along with it good. She's been on big trail rides, posted a bunch of pictures and videos over the past year of her riding and getting along with it. So she's got use of her mule. She enjoys it. She already loved the mule, so now she's got a mule she can use, so the mule's safe, and it's going to be good for the rest of her life, and she's going to be safe, and nobody's going to get hurt. The mule's not going to get hurt. So that's the reality of it. So, like I said, as far as Tex goes, you know, somebody's even going about you know, I've got 70-something mules, and most of them, you know, when Cheyenne rides them, she names them. Well, I'm not going to let Cheyenne ride this one. Well, this mule come out of a rodeo company in Texas, wasn't wanted. He was an accident, and so I just kept saying, that colt we got out of Texas, rodeo company in Texas. Well, it just stuck, Tex, and like I said, we've thought about changing his name to something else, and we might, and if we sell him, then somebody else might change his name, but, we thought about Jack Sparrow because he's got the mascara underneath his eyes. We've had a bunch of names, but for right now, we just call him Tex because he come out of Texas. It's that simple. Wasn't no thought about it. But my point there said, it's just like talking. No matter what I say, they're going to twist it around. And then they get a bunch of pictures and collages, take them out of context, and make up some kind of crazy video. Most of them ain't even me in the video. And I shot another video of the mules out on pasture. There's no mules that are starved down anywhere around here and stuff. Sometimes we buy horses or mules that are thin, and that's why people sold them, is they're not able to take care of them. So we put them on 60 acres of pasture and all the hay they can eat until they get fat enough to be finished out, trained and going. It's be absolutely retarded to buy a fat horse or mule and starve it to death, then bring it back up here to fatten it up. That makes absolutely no sense to anybody. The thing is, they were skinny. Right now, I don't even own a skinny one. So, but in the past, there have been some times where we bought a skinny horse or skinny mule, fattened it up, got it ready to sell. Because somebody didn't, they run out of hay. I've got access to a lot of hay. A lot of people don't. A lot of people struggle to find hay in the winter. So I'm lucky that way, and I've got a lot of buddies that have hay farms. Like I said, so we're on day 10. We continue working with him. I'm fixing to throw a saddle on him here. Right now, like I said, my main goal is just to let him hear my voice while I'm talking to you guys, keep my hands on him, pet him, rub him, let him eat some food, let him know that I'm not trying to run him off of it, let him know that, he's good in the pecking order. Everything's fine, but like I said, if Tex is the biggest thing you got to worry about in y'all's life, and y'all are really running out of things to worry about in your life, and you almost have some really great lives, because there's no need to worry about him. This mule's going to turn out good. He's going to be fine. He's going to make a great using mule, whether he stays here or he gets sold in the future. Either way, he's going to have some value. He's going to be a real light, responsive mule. I love the way he cuts through the woods and stuff. He walks really fast, got a nice little jog. Trying to get him up to a canter. Right now he doesn't want to do that. He'll canter. He's done a few strides. He's cantered up a few hills, but he doesn't want to hold it for whatever reason. So we're going to let him ease into that. There's no reason to be in a big rush about it. It's got plenty to do. But what we'll probably do if the ground ever gets dry, it just keeps raining around here. Tomorrow it's going to really pour. But is get the other group, get some mules in front of him cantering, and let him just where he falls into it, wants to keep up with them, and let him get used to it. But his walking and trotting is doing outstanding. His back up and reverse is great. He's really light. So like I said, I really think y'all need to go find something else to worry about. Like I said, just realize, like I said, most of those people, you see that they're blatantly lying about stuff. You see that Clancy's exactly where I said he was the whole time, and everything's fine. So like I said, don't be a sheep and don't be a pawn. People are playing with your minds and pulling on your heartstrings, trying to get numbers up behind their little agenda, and it's just not based on reality. Come out here and check it out yourself. If you want to see, our place is wide open. There's no gates up there or anything else. You can drive right on my driveway. You can ride with me any day you want. You can hang out here. We're training every day. It ain't just pouring down raining. We're out here riding. You're welcome to come down here and see for yourself.